pacing and leading is the other thing I want to talk about, so thank you for raising that. Pacing and leading is a very important part of establishing rapport. The other person's energy level, in terms of their speech and so forth, is at a certain tempo. You first want to pace it. For example, child comes into your consulting room practice or whatever, and it's a child that a parent has brought because that child needs help. They've got ADHD, attention deficit hyperactive disorder. And the child is bouncing off the walls, and they're crazy and they can't sit still, and everything's like looking around and touching things and like this. And you know that you can't begin to work with a child like that because they're just a little bit too hectic. Okay? So you first want to pace their experience. One good way of pacing, which would be crossover mirroring, because I'm not going to start jumping out and bouncing off the walls, would be child comes in and I'm kind of pacing the general tempo, the feeling I get with that child as they bounce off the walls, and ask them some questions about what they're doing, show some interest in what the child does, get them a little bit on the same page, let them know that I'm interested in them, and then begin to slow down the pace. And you will notice that the child will start to match your tempo. Until they're seated and ready to begin the session.
Even works with animals.
Works with animals? I'm sure it does.
I must be a child of an animal because I'm feeling calm.
Pace and lead. And when Milton Erickson said, there are no resistant clients, there are only inflexible communicators, what he meant was, if you're unable to pace the client's model of the world, you will not be able to access it. And if you're not able to access it, you cannot lead them into a new one. So you pace their model of the world through stepping into it. And we're going to still get to perceptual positions, which is a definite way of being able to achieve that. But from a rapport point of view, it's just through showing interest and being curious and pacing their physical and verbal output. And if they're really hectic, you can slow them down. And if they come in and they're asleep and you need to speed them up, then you can do it just the opposite way. Whatever it takes.